Hey y'all, Ethan here, touching grass at Salt Lick Point on the Bottomland Trail. Today I'm here to tell you a little bit about my favorite time of year. This is ephemeral season. Ephemerals are basically plants that take up the sunlight before the leaves are really on the trees. They're just starting to get put on, but it'll take all of its nutrients early in the spring, bloom out, and then go back into the ground come around summertime or so. So a lot of these plants are only active for like 3 months out of the year, which is super interesting. A lot of them are perennial. So yeah, let's check it out. This is like one of my favorite spots for spring ephemerals. Like this guy. So kind of a banger ephemeral, more like a biennial. This is Phacelia bipinnatophyta. Bipinnate leaves. Very mottled sort of texture to the leaves, and the flowers are very bright purple with very exerted stamens. It's in the borage family, Boraginaceae, and usually I'll see like the foliage pop up in the wintertime when it's just like this kind of speckly looking leaf to it. They'll look like that for the first year, and then they'll pop up, flower, put a bunch of seed down, and die. But it is a spring bloomer. So I'll call it an ephemeral, even though it's a biennial. Not an ephemeral right there, though. That's a leaf cup. Polymnia levigata, I believe. Something like that. Very big leaves that kind of reek of almost piney, very planty, earthy smell to them. They'll bloom in later season, probably like August, September-ish to November. I think what's interesting too about this purple Phacelia is it's kind of rare and more restricted to this side of the Mississippi. I have not seen it in Missouri yet, but I've seen it in abundance in Illinois, all over Shawnee National Forest, and on these river sort of bluffs here at Salt Lick Point. But I have yet to find them in Missouri. Perplexing. Phacelia bipinnatophyta, purple Phacelia. Boraginaceae is the family. Finally, a true ephemeral. This is Delphinium tricorne, aka dwarf larkspur. It'll bloom, right now in middle April. It'll come up out of the ground and with these leaves in late March. Bloom in April. As you can see, it's already putting on fruit. The fruit will dehisce and it'll go dormant by middle of May or so. Beautiful plant too. Let's see what else we can find. I found some celandine poppy back there, so see if I can find that. Take a look at this genetic variation. Both the same plant, both Delphinium tricorne, but this one's dark purple, which has been normally what I've been seeing out here, and this one's white, which sometimes I'll see more of the white, sometimes I'll see more of the purple. There's some more white over there, but fascinating. I wonder if maybe that's for more moths and that's for more bees. I'm not sure. Super fascinating though. And I wonder what I guess pollinator populations can dictate which phenotype is more common. So I guess there's maybe more bees around. I'm not sure. Now, unfortunately, we did come a little late for this one, but this one is Dicentra cucullaria, aka Dutchman's breeches. They're in the Papaveraceae family, the fumaroid subfamily though, and they look like bleeding hearts but white. And as you can see, they're putting out seeds now, which I believe are anthospersed. As you can see, it's a little bit of food incentive for them to get around by. But I'm gonna spread these out. Wonderful, wonderful plant when they're blooming. Unfortunately, a little too late. Surprisingly, in the violet family, this is Hybanthus concolor. It is Violaceae is the family, and I guess I could vaguely see how it's a violet. I don't know. It feels like a stretch for me, but more upright than the other species of violet. And spring bloomer. There's more of it over there. It's an interesting plant. Not the showiest, but it works. right here. Also a little too late for it because it's a really early bloomer. This is Sanguinaria canadensis, aka bloodroot, and it gets that name because it bleeds when you break the stem. Supposedly, yeah, it does. Interesting. It was already broken. I did not touch it. It was already broken. But they have leaves similar to wild ginger, except they're lobed. So that's how you can tell them apart. They'll have a nice white flower. And another thing where you're a little too late for on the flowers, but still got foliage. This is Erythronium rostratum, I believe. It is otherwise known as white fawn lily, or trout lily. Beautiful dangling white flowers when they're blooming, but I believe they finished up a couple weeks ago in the family Liliaceae. So they are true lilies. I have another pretty decent, cool ephemeral. This is a false ruin enemy, I believe. Anemonium bindertatum. It could be the true. I don't know the difference much. I think they're a little taller, but I'll have to figure this one out. Either way, Ranunculaceae is the family on it, and it's a nice spring ephemeral. I like them. Blooming beautifully on these upland forests. This is Uvularia grandiflora, aka yellow bellwort or large bellwort. It's in the family, I believe, Colchicaceae, which is a unique family. I think somewhat related to lilies. I believe they're monocot. There's the fruit, three carpal, obviously a monocot. Not carpal, but whatever. 3-lobed fruit. I'm gonna call it that. There's the flower fading. Beautiful form to these flowers, though. Very like droopy. I think those are 6 petals there. Droopy plant. I love them. Now, when and where should you look for spring ephemerals? Well, it's kind of when it's starting to green up. The ground layer is definitely more green, but the leaves on the trees haven't fully grown in yet, so light is still being allowed onto the forest floor. So usually that's around late March, early April is prime ephemeral season. I'm a little late, definitely on the later end of ephemeral season, but it's also the same time you should go look for morels if you're interested. I haven't seen morels yet out here, but I've seen them elsewhere. And the best places to find a lot of ephemeral wildflowers is bottomlands. Bottomlands and mesic forests. Basically areas that are near rivers or on north-facing slopes where there's more water retention and it's generally shadier. There are some glade ephemerals too in more sunny areas, but the forests are where it's at right now. You gotta be careful, there's poison ivy everywhere, but right here, this is Jack in the Pulpit, just starting to bloom. Erythema trifoliata, it's got 3 leaves, but yeah, it's also right next to poison ivy. You can kind of tell the difference. These will have more like smooth edges, where their poison ivy is gonna have more scalloped edges. God, it's so fucking everywhere. Anyway, it's in the Arum family, Araceae. It's got a spadix with 1 petal and a spadix. Yeah, they're interesting flowers. Delphinium right next to them. Here's some better Jack in the Pulpits with even bigger leaves and fully blooming. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Aracema triphyllum. Araceae is the family on this guy. Beautiful. There's also green dragon with even more lobed leaves and a longer flower, longer spadix. Another interesting sort of biennial out here, very closely related to the Phacelia. This is Hydrophyllum epidiculatum, aka great water leaf. They kind of have these like maple looking leaves up top, but as you get sort of lower to the ground, they're a lot more spotted and speckled. I was honestly expecting these to bloom, but I guess maybe they don't bloom till later, or maybe they already bloomed already. I don't know. Kind of surprised they're not blooming right now. Nonetheless, Hydrophyllum epidiculatum. Boraginaceae is the family. 2 trees that bloom at the same time as ephemeral season. First off, this is Pawpaw, Esmina triloba. Burgundy flowers. Oh, just fell off. Kind of stinks a little bit. These will be delicious, big mango, banana type fruits come August or so. Looks like this one's kind of spent. And then over here, we have Buckeyes, Aesculus glabra. This variety is green. They're sometimes red or yellow, but this is Ohio Buckeye, the green one. And it's typically what I find in this area. Kind of palmately compound leaves, kind of looks like pot. They attract hummingbirds though. Here's a better view on the Buckeye flowers. See, they're a little more yellow than green, but this is in the same family as maples, Sapondaceae. But beautiful flowers, not too fragrant. And they'll be, you know, the big seeded Buckeyes you'll see in the fall. Another neat ephemeral that can be kind of hard to miss. This is a ranunculus. I'm not entirely sure which species it is because there's a whole bunch of species. Yeah, they can be kind of confusing. But I've generally seen these bloom early spring and then die back. So I believe they are ephemeral. There's the seeds up there. Ranunculaceae is the family. Speaking of Ranunculaceae too, another guy over here in that same family. Also, I don't think it's really technically an ephemeral, but it does bloom at that same time. This is Aquilegia canadensis, otherwise known as red columbine, Canadian columbine. Downward shaped flowers in the family of the Ranunculaceae, and just always grows out of rocks, which I think is quite interesting. Same with this Vasilia. I've seen this grow a lot out of rocks in the Shawnee National Forest, and seems to be the case here. Beautiful. Not an ephemeral, but a cool spring wildflower. This is Asarum canadense, aka wild ginger. You may be asking, why is this a cool wildflower? I don't see any flowers on it. Well, they're underneath the leaf. Right there. 3 petals. There's another one there. Ant pollinated, I believe. But they're crazy. Crazy looking flowers. In the family Aristolochiaceae, so related to like Dutchman's pipe. Super interesting, fascinating plant. Good ground cover too in gardens. The forest is always so colorful this time of year. You get such bright colors. Such a deep shade of purple. Such a bold yellow. Absolutely gorgeous. Love ephemeral season. There's more bluebells up there. Cecilia's on the rocks. So green. Well, you have agriculture over there, which is kind of cringe. Another banger ephemeral. I mean, it'll keep its bottom leaves on for most of the year, but also another spring bloomer. It smells amazing. This is Phlox divaricata, aka Wild Sweet William, but that's a stupid common name. I like to call it spring phlox or wood phlox. Beautiful smelling flowers in the family Polymonaceae. If we see Jacob's ladder here, that's in the same family. But phloxes in general are just beautiful, beautiful plants. This is the shortest of our phloxes, I believe. And, oh, they smell quite pleasant. Quite pleasant. Another banger ephemeral. It's blooming everywhere back here, but this is Stylophorum diphyllum, aka celandine poppy. It's in the poppy family, Papaveraceae, Papyravoideae, not Femoroideae like certain other ephemerals out here, but it's a 4-petaled plant, and I believe you can make dye with these with the sap of the leaves, which I believe is a yellow color. Oh yeah, very yellow. But yeah, they're blooming everywhere, all over the place. Nice native guy. And over here we got Cryptitania, aka honewort, or maybe Tenidia, one of the two, something like that. Carrot family, Apiaceae, blooming all over the place. This will be dormant by summer, most likely, and just be like pointy, sticky ass seeds. Beautiful forest down here, though. This is one of the best times to come to Salt Lake Point. And right over here, we got a trillium. I don't think this is sessile. I think this, well, it might be sessile, it might be recurvatum. Got more round leaves, so I'm thinking sessile. But they usually have burgundy flowers like this. There's other species that have white flowers or green flowers, or they're crazy group to dive into, especially this time of year. Kind of a limited window where you can observe them, but these will come up in March, bloom in April, be gone by May. Beautiful flowers though, one of the few cool burgundy flowers. I mean, pawpaws will also have burgundy flowers too, blooming at the same time. And well, we're right underneath some Asamina triloba. Not, you know, it's a tree, but blooms at the same time as the ephemerals, and we'll have delicious fruit on them by fall. Just starting to put on buds right here. This is Manthamum racemosum, aka false Solomon seal, Solomon's plume, because it looks very similar to the true Solomon seal, Polygonatum biflorum, but you can tell the difference because usually they'll have this apical little inflorescence, panicle, if you will. And oh, another ephemeral. This is Spring Beauty, one of the more common ephemerals, but I'm seeing less of them now because it's been dry and kind of late. But Claytonia virginica, they're going to seed right now, so it's a little late. There's some ephemerals I did miss, but you know, we'll see what we can find around here. More hornwort, more delphinium. See what else we can find. Oh, would you look at that? Bluebells. I found them. One of the most iconic ephemerals out here. These are bluebells, Mertensia virginica. True ephemerals, they'll die back and come out every year as they're perennials. They're in the borage family, Boraginaceae. They'll have kind of purple flowers first budding out and then turns to a nice blue. It's a little late, but I'm glad I still caught them. They're going to be dormant by May, and it's already midway through April, so they'll put on seeds, you know, they'll go back to the ground. But leaves are edible. They're kind of bitter. Tastes like borage. But yeah, glad I still see this guy blooming, despite it kind of being the, I guess the closing end of ephemeral season. Another banger. This is Viola areocarpa. This is the yellow violet in the violet family Violaceae. Just a little guy. Just a yellow variant of the purple one. Or there's also a white one too. They come in all sorts of colors. I love them. Host plant to the fritillary butterfly. Two interesting spring bloomers right next to each other. First off, you have Geranium immaculatum, Geraniaceae, the family on this. Secretes a very kind of smelly enzyme. Is that a tornado siren? Anyway, right here we have Borodinia canadensis, aka sicklepod. And yeah, I'm gonna check the weather now and maybe run. Yeah. Anyway, beautiful day out here. It's a little gray. All right, yeah, I'm gonna check the weather now. Radar looks fine. Feels sus. I don't know. My phone's gonna die soon, so I better cut this video short. Peace out. Glad to learn ephemerals.